Good evening, everybody. I thought I would share my newest acquisition from a thrift store, and this is a Kenmore progressive canister, but it is not a what I would call normal Kenmore progressive canister. As you can see, or at least I hope you can see, it is Bagless, and it does not have a Kenmore serial number. It starts with 721. Let's actually take a look at the back of this thing. It is model number 721-26822. You can see it was made in Korea. This vacuum is a Kenmore in name only. It is not a Panasonic. This machine was actually made by LG. And I want to say it was made probably around 2007 or 2008. I do remember when these were new, looking at them on Sears website. And the only two things I remember about this machine is it was very expensive. Back then it was like $400 or $500. And the reviews on it were not good. I think a lot of people returned them. It is a very heavy machine. It weighs, the canister itself probably weighs almost 15 pounds. So it's about as heavy as like a Hoover Dimension 1000. Guess I forgot that there for a second. Anyway, similarly to the Hoover Wind Tunnel Bagless canister, you can see it has this lighter colored hose, and I guess that's one thing those two machines share in common. That machine was also made by LG. We'll get to the most interesting aspect about this machine in a second, but before we get there, let me show you another interesting aspect of this machine. So it is bagless. The dirt is collected in here. What I did not know about these machines is that they're actually multicyclonic. I can't remember how many cyclones are in there, but if you open this up, yeah, wow, it already picked up some stuff when I ran it for 30 seconds, but this does have a shroud that comes out for cleaning, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's like about 14 cyclones in there. So it's a very, very loose copy of a Dyson. I guess maybe they thought they could get around it, but I don't know. I'm still kind of interested by the fact that this machine exists, because to me this kind of seems like a patent infringement, even though it's a loose copy. As far as how well the cyclone works, you can see the shroud is actually in there. I don't really know, but the air passes through here and it goes down here in this channel to the premotor filter, which is right here. And much like a Dyson, it's a 2-layer, so you have the foam and then you have the mesh part. I did just wash that, but that's in there. And then on the other side of the machine, you have the washable quote-unquote copper filter, which is just a pleated filter, much like the Wind Tunnel Bagless, which also had a washable premotor filter. And this cover kind of just goes back in there like that. It's already plugged in, but it does have a quarter wind. It is really heavy and really bulky, like I said. It doesn't really swivel that well, even though it has this really funky caster style wheel, sets of 3. So maneuverability isn't that great. This is a plush carpet, so that probably doesn't help. It does have a 3-in-1 tool, right here. Crevice, upholstery, and dusting brush. I at least appreciate that the bristles are soft. I did some research. Originally, this machine would have come with a floor tool and a non-electric turbo brush as well for stairs, but those have been lost to time. It's got an LED light set up on the power nozzle. It also has multiple height adjustments. The quick release and wand setup is very similar to the Taconi canisters of the same time period, so I'm going to guess that they had the same parts maker because they're so similar. It is a variable speed motor, and I guess we can get into now the unique aspect of this machine. So what I didn't realize about this vacuum when I first got it is that it's an Intelliclean, like the much more popular upright Kenmores of the same time period, but it's in canister form. And when you plug it in, this turns yellow, so it's got this standby yellow display on the screen, which is really neat. And it lights up based on what power mode you're on, or if you're on carpet or Intelliclean. Many of you might not know what Intelliclean is, so I'll explain it the best I can. How it works is it's kind of like a Hoover Dirt Finder, except that the motor is directly like wired to it, if it makes sense. So if the machine senses it's not picking up a lot of dirt, it will automatically set to a lower suction setting. If on the flip side you are picking up a lot of dirt, it will automatically adjust to a higher speed setting so that you can get more of the dirt. And that's basically how Intelliclean works. And like I said, I was unaware until I purchased this machine that they actually did it in a canister. I thought they only did it in the uprights. This machine was not used a whole lot. Just judging by the fact that the overall build quality is not that great, there is no way that this vacuum would have survived 15 or so years of use had it been used very frequently. So that's why I estimate this really wasn't used a whole lot. The HEPA filter also did not have a lot of dust on it, so that also was an indication to me that not a lot of dust has passed through this machine, thus it wasn't used very much. I still haven't figured out who made the power nozzle for this vacuum. It's definitely not a Panasonic. It's some sort of a Chinese power nozzle. Like I said, very reminiscent of Taconi power nozzles. So it seems like kind of like almost like a Taconi knockoff. It does have a nice wooden brush roll. Brushes aren't overly stiff, they're mildly stiff. I wouldn't say it cleans as well as the Panasonic power nozzle, but it still works pretty well. Suction, it has a decent amount of suction. It does have the telescope release. Like I said, it has the Intelliclean. I'll demonstrate you the light so you can see what it looks like without the light on the display. So as you can see now, the light is gone because I've unplugged it. So it's like the standby switch, which Hoover Dimension 1000 had something similar to that. And now you can see it's back on again. So without further ado, we will get started on showing this machine in action. And what I'm going to do to make it easier for you to see how this works is I'm first going to run it without the power nozzle. And we're going to go through these power settings, and you can see what happens when I go to different settings on the handle. So first we'll do carpet to floor, then we'll go through the power settings, and then we'll switch to Intelliclean. So as you can see, it has 3 speeds, and when you go to Intelliclean, it was sensing I wasn't picking up anything because I was just standing there with the hose, and you could see that it automatically adjusted itself to the lowest speed because it didn't sense any dirt going through the hose or wherever the sensor actually is. It's actually probably somewhere down here. Frankly, I'm actually kind of amazed that the feature still works, given this vacuum's a good 15 years old now. But I guess for how expensive this vacuum was new, you know, adjusted for inflation, this was probably about a $700 or $800 vacuum when this vacuum was new. I guess I guess you would hope it would still work. Anyway, to finish off the video, we'll run the power nozzle. There isn't necessarily anything too special about this power nozzle. I mean, it cleans well enough, but we'll give it a run. There is one more YouTube video of this vacuum in action, although it doesn't go into too much detail about how the machine works, so hopefully this will clear up anybody's questions if they've ever been wondering how one of these machines work. And it does have this quick release here too, which is nice. So overall, this was a very well featured vacuum cleaner for the time. I mean, everything that it had. So I can see why it was expensive, but on the other hand, it makes you wonder how well they really lasted, because this is the first one I've ever actually come across. So anyway, we'll switch it back on. We'll go through all the settings again, and you can just have a go for how this works. I think I mentioned it before, but it also tells you when you've turned the power nozzle off. So anyway, I think I've done with this video as much as I can do. Relatively limited knowledge about this machine. Like I said, I've known this vacuum's existed for a very long time, because I was in elementary school when these were new, and I would see these on Sears' website. So I always kind of knew these existed. I just didn't really know how they worked, but it's definitely an interesting machine. But that is the Kenmore Progressive Bagless Canister. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know if you have any more questions about this machine.